Hello and welcome to Cooking with Miss Brenda, and I'm so glad you joined us today, and welcome to my home. This is the first time that I have a cooking program in my new home, and fortunately the kitchen that got unpacked first, so my kitchen is unpacked. Everything else behind this camera is full of boxes, so I'm glad you don't have to see that part, but the kitchen is all put together. You know, it seems like when you move, if you get your kitchen put together, you're kind of good, right? So we're ready to make Mama's rice patties. Let me connect you up here with the internet here so I can see who has joined us. It'll take just a moment. And thank you for joining us. And please tell us when you write in if you have any questions at all while I'm cooking. Write in at any time. Let me know you're watching, and also tell me where you're from. I love to hear where you're from. And let's see here. We got Patties. All right. There we go. Now we see, okay, so Denver has joined us and Cindy has joined us. Hey, Denver, can't wait to be cooking with you in this new kitchen. You have to let me know when you're coming down soon. Denver is a student at Southern University and one of my grandson's best friends, and he is an amazing cook. They're getting ready to return to school soon, so hopefully COVID will still let that happen. And we're really praying for all our students that are returning to school right now. There's so many that don't know. Are they going to be online classes? Are they going to be actually in class? Nobody knows right now. It's all up in the air. But you know what? We just need to pray for our students around the world because they're all in that same boat, okay? All right. So I just wanted to share with you the name of this recipe by your vote is Mama's Rice Patties. I'll read the ingredients, but you don't need to write this down unless you want to, because if you go to our website, kidsclub4jesus.org, all of our recipes are there, including this one. So any recipe that I have done even 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, it will be there. So you can try it, those recipes if you happen to miss a program. You can also watch all the programs on my YouTube channel. Go to Brenda Walsh Ministries, and would you take a moment to subscribe? You just hit subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, but it does take a moment just to fill out the paperwork. Hit subscribe, and you can watch all of our videos that we've done, whether it's cooking, whether it's praise, whatever it is, stories, whatever. So today's recipe, Mama's Rice Patties, and this is why I called it Mama's Rice Patties, is because it's my version of a recipe that my mama cooked for us when we were little, and one of our family favorites. And it's still my family favorite today. But I've kind of tweaked it a little bit. You know how you do in a recipe and you kind of just, if you don't like something of this, you change that and this and the other thing. So it's kind of, my version, kind of take of that. So we're going to need 3 cups of cooked rice, and you can see I used my rice cooker right here. I love a rice cooker because you cannot mess up rice if you've got a rice cooker. It's perfect every time. And also you can just walk away, push the button, walk away, and it's done. And then it just stays warm. So I highly recommend it. You're going to need 3 cups of this small or medium grained rice, a half a cup of breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons of vegan margarine melted, 3 tablespoons of Bragg liquid aminos, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of parsley, a half a teaspoon of Vegisol, and 12 ounces of veggie burger of your choice. Now, even though this is my recipe, I've actually tweaked this once again. So if you want to take some notes and find out what I've tweaked as we go along, be sure and go and do this. Now, Melissa Hoffman, our general manager for Kids Club for Jesus, is with me as always. And Melissa is going to just welcome people to the program. So, Melissa, I need you to get your microphone on. And as people are coming in, if you would let me know who's coming, and we can welcome you to the program. Also, if you have any questions or whatever, she can let me know so I don't miss them, okay? So that I don't get so carried away cooking that I forget to look over here and run over here and say, okay, who's looking right now? So Crystal Garver says, hi, Miss Brenda, Liliana, and Audrey from Loma Linda are here, and we're going to cook along with you today. Oh, that's wonderful. So you've got all the ingredients going to cook with me. I love that. And let's see, we have here Melissa Fiera. Hello, Melissa. How are you? And Flossie has joined us. And Crystal's saying you need an Instant Pot. You can do rice, pressure cooked beans, and everything so fast. I do have my old-fashioned version of an Instapot because I have what you call a pressure cooker, and I use it all the time. An Instapot is like a pressure cooker, only it's not as dangerous in terms of it's more user-friendly, let me say it that way. Because if you don't know how to use a pressure cooker, you've got to be very careful. You have to know what you're doing. Where an Instapot takes that work out of it and makes it a lot more user-friendly. But I'm kind of old-fashioned. I've been using a pressure cooker for most of my life, so I'm really comfortable with that. But Instapots are good too.
Melissa is asking, what is Vegisol?
Vegisol is just a vegetable seasoning. And in fact, I haven't used Vegisol in a long time. It's Spike. S-P-I-K-E, Spike Vegisol. It's just a vegetable seasoning. You can use any that you want or just use regular salt. And today that's what I'm going to do is just use regular salt. It's totally up to you. You can use Lowry salt, whatever your favorite vegetable seasoning is fine, or just plain salt. So you don't have to worry about that.
So Ariana and
Yes.
Alex are watching with us today.
And where are you from? Write and let me know.
Not sure, yeah. And then Crystal says she likes the Instapot because she doesn't have to babysit it. She's got kids, so
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's user friendly. You push the button and you go. So yes, you're right about that. Okay, so I'm going to put my gloves on because anytime I mix anything, I like to have my gloves on. And I'm going to. I'm still getting used to my new kitchen. I put everything away in its place, but I'm still having to open up cupboards and go, now, where did I put that? So I've only been in the house. I moved here. It'll be 1 week tomorrow. So I haven't even been here 1 week. So we're just going to put this in the microwave. And I'm going to just put that down, and we're going to cover that and put that for just a couple of seconds. It won't need much.
By the way, Ariana
Yes.
and Alex are from the Stand Up for Gap Church.
Oh, you are? Awesome. Well, I came to you live from Stand Up for Gap Church on Sabbath for praise and worship because I didn't have internet until yesterday. So I didn't have internet to come live from my house yet. So we went to your church and I played the piano from there.
And then Holleen is with us from Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
And Truby just joined too.
Hello, Truby. How are you? Truby's been such a good friend. That's one of those friends that helped me move, and she helped me pack and unpack. So did Melissa and CQ and Melissa's mom and my daughter, and I had lots of helpers. And I don't know what I'd have done without y'all. Thank you so much, because it's a big job to move, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to just put this is one of those recipes that's so easy, guys. You're just going to basically dump everything in. It doesn't have to be any certain order. We're going to just put the Bragg liquid aminos right there, and I've got a little bit of salt we're going to put on there, and let's see, what is this here? Onion powder. Put that in there, and parsley. And I had some fresh parsley in here, but you can use dried. And this is the cornstarch. This is to take the place of an egg. But if you want to put an egg in here, you can. So just add 1 egg if you want to, or you can use the cornstarch, which acts as a binder so that it replaces the egg. That's all this does. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this. I can feel this fire getting hot. I turned it on just a little bit so that it would start getting hot on us, but it's really getting hot on us. So now, I don't know about you, but I have really been struggling on finding a good vegan or vegetarian burger. If you use whatever burger that you like in this recipe, if you have a burger that you already love, then use that. That's what you put in here, because my favorite burger is the Eve's burger, Eve's Ground Round, and now for whatever reason, it's been difficult to get to buy it in the stores. It's always on back order, and it's always hard. When I see it there, I usually buy 10 packages and put it in my freezer, but I haven't been able to purchase it in a while. So one thing that my mama did, you know how these are mama's patties, and you kind of do things that your mama did? Well, we grew up with this. It's called Loma Linda vegetable steaks, and they looked like this, and I love these steaks. I love these to put them on, just flour them, and saute them in a pan with some onions, put them in a baking dish, put some canned tomatoes over the top, and bake it in the oven for an hour at 350. It is so delicious. Well, I grew up with this. This is one of my favorite things to eat. And Mom, when she needed burger, would just grind them up. And so since I don't have a burger out there other than Eve's that I really just love, I do love the flavor of this because it doesn't have a flavor that overpowers. So we're going to show you. I thought today we're just going to drain the juice out. You can see that right there. And I kind of just squeeze a little bit in there to get all that juice out. And then we're going to take this and we're going to put it in my food processor. And so I'm just going to, and it doesn't take very long at all because we're just going to make it to like a burger consistency. And then we will add that to the dish. So let me put this in here. And yes, I have a garbage right there, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to get a different pair of gloves because that got kind of wet. And here we go. Let's see if I got that right. Nope, I didn't. You got to get this just right or it doesn't. Okay, hold on. I got crooked. Let's try here. All right, hold on. Now we got it. Okay, I was wrestling with that, but I was determined to win. Okay, let's just jog this a little bit. That looks about right. So let me show you what this does. You don't have to use to do it very soft. You saw how fast that was, but look at that. Can you see that? And let me get my gloves on. I got to get more. I always got lots of gloves around because I just like to keep everything clean in the kitchen. And even though I wash my hands a lot, this keeps it a lot cleaner. Okay, so I know everybody's wearing a lot of these gloves. I go in the grocery store and there's a lot of people wearing these gloves now, even in there right now because of COVID. All right, so I'm just going to put all of this burger in here, okay? And I'm going to get all of it out because my mama might be watching. And she always says get everything out to the last drop, okay? And then what we're going to do is just mix this up.
You need your breadcrumbs too.
Oh, my breadcrumbs. Thank you very much. See, she's keeping me honest here. We got to have our breadcrumbs. All right, so for breadcrumbs, you can use just regular bread that we're going to crumble like I'm doing today. You can use the boxed breadcrumbs, the seasoned breadcrumbs, whatever it is that you want to do, you can use that. They act as a binder as well. So I have another little food processor. And this doesn't fight and talk back to me like the other one. See, he's well behaved. So I'm going to take I made some homemade bread yesterday. It's the first day in my new house. I have to have some bread. I have to have homemade bread. I tested out the oven. It works good. And so I'm going to just take a couple of slices of this, and we're going to put it in the food processor. And I'm going to just do some nice thick pieces over here. And so you can see I actually made some whole wheat chia bread. Look at this, how nice and that looks. Can you see that, Melissa? Mm-hmm. It's nice and moist. It's so moist. I didn't even want it for toast in the morning. Normally I like toast in the morning, but it was so moist and so good. I said, no, I'm just going to have this plain. So I'm just going to tear some pieces off. I only need a half a cup, so it's not a lot. And let's see what we've got here. Maybe I'll put one more in here over here. And there's nothing like homemade bread, isn't there? Okay, so here we go. And sometimes you have to just jog it a little bit because it might get stuck. Okay, that's it. That's all done. And then, so let's see. Crystal's saying I should share my bread recipe. Oh, you know what? I think, what's in our recipes, Melissa? Why don't you tell us what for next week? Isn't there a bread? Am I making bread next week? Is that one of the options?
Not this bread exactly, but
Okay.
we do have some sweet rolls, and we have the apricot pecan bread.
Okay.
There's a stuffed spinach bread, that's an option, and I'm blanking on the other one.
Okay, well, she'll figure it out. Look at how nice these breadcrumbs turned out. That's homemade breadcrumbs right there.
It's the garlic breadsticks.
Okay, all right. Well, one of these times, if we'll make an option, Melissa, for my whole wheat chia bread recipe. And then we also have a version where I put dates, dried cherries, and golden raisins in it as well. So good for breakfast and just plain without even putting it in a toaster, but it also makes really good toast. Okay, so I'm going to add our breadcrumbs, and now...
Someone is asking if oatmeal will do the job instead of the breadcrumbs. Can you add oatmeal to this?
Yes, you can, but it will taste different. It won't be the same like the rice patties taste, because you're going to have that oat taste. It changes it a little bit, but it will work the same as it will in a binder. So now there's something like just getting your hands in there and going. Can you see this, Melissa? If I'm from here, can they watch? I'll move my bowl if you can't see it.
That's good.
Okay, so I don't need this. I'll just throw that away. We don't need that. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix this up. Okay, and this smells so good. And wait till and you can do a couple of things with this. I'm mixing it up really good, and you want it moist. If for whatever reason your rice is dry and not a little bit sticky, then you may want to add just a touch of water to it, okay, to get that. You want it to be able to hold together. And so I'm really just...
Melissa is asking if your recipes are diabetic friendly.
You know what? You can tweak them so that they can be, yes. Yeah. There's no sugar in this one here at all. So all the savory ones, there's not even a pinch of sugar in this. So this would be a good one. All right. All right. So now you can see that when you can make a patty, when you can have it all mixed up and you just form it into a patty like this, it is the perfect consistency. Okay, so now I've got to get to, speaking of perfect consistency, I've got to get a little bit of oil. I've got just a little canola oil. You can use olive oil if you want. You can use grapeseed oil. You can use, some people even like peanut oil. Totally up to you. I'm just going to put this over here. And so now we're just going to, I've got just a little canola oil. The olive oil will flavor it a little bit, but you know, a lot of people like that flavor, so that's okay. So now I'm going to just turn this heat up just a little bit now, because you want it to sizzle. So what I do is I take a little bit and I drop it in there. And if it's not sizzling, it's not ready for you. Okay?
Would these be good baked as well?
Yes. And what I do is, I don't know if you use Silpats, but I have a whole bunch of them in a drawer. And I knew where they were this time. That's a good thing. I have these Silpats you put on a baking sheet like this, and you can just put them right there. You don't have to have any type of cooking spray or anything. And bake it for about 375 for about 20 minutes. Turn them over and bake for another 10 minutes, and they'll be nice and crispy. And that's all you have. If you don't have a Silpat, then what you can use is you can use just a little bit of nonstick cooking spray, or you can just put a little oil down, drizzle it with olive oil, and kind of rub it around there, and put them on the baking sheet. Bake them for the same amount of time, probably about 20 minutes one side, flip it for 10 to 15 minutes on the other, and then it will be nice and crispy. So you can bake them. But I'm not going to lie to you. They are better fried. I'm not suggesting that you make this an everyday dish if you're going to fry it, because we all know a lot of fried food isn't good for us. But, there's something about being temperate in all things. So if you want to enjoy this once in a great while, at the best, my mama did fry them. That's the way I grew up. But I have baked them plenty, so I do them both ways. If I'm going to eat them very often, I would definitely bake them. But I'm going to enjoy them just a little bit more right here. I'm not going to steer you wrong, okay?
You can also use brown rice in this recipe, right, if you prefer?
You can use brown rice, and you might have to cook the brown rice just a little bit more because brown rice can be a little harder, so you might have to sort of soft enough to really hold together. Now, do you hear that sizzle? That tells me that my pan is ready. All right, so I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to get the next one ready. Ooh. And it's too bad I don't have anybody here for supper is coming, because I'd sure have a good supper for them.
Well, these would be good for like breakfast patties too as well, wouldn't they?
You know what? You could have these for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They taste so yummy. You just can't go wrong. Yeah, like a breakfast sausage, absolutely. And now I wouldn't recommend freezing them though. If you were going to fry them first. If you want to try freezing them, I do them where you hadn't cooked them first, and then cook them, thaw them out and cook them. That's what I would be thinking. But I've never done it, so if anybody wants to try it, you let me know, okay? And say, okay, by the way, that did not work, or hey, that worked great. Let me know, all right? Because I've never really done that, and these don't last very long. By the time I put them on a platter and everyone's waiting for the meal, we're lucky if we have any left to serve at the table, because everyone's grabbing one to eat one before, and because they like them so much. So if you have any questions, this is a good time to ask your questions right now. I want to invite you to join me every Sabbath afternoon at 5:30 on my Brenda Walsh Ministry page for praise and worship. And you can give me your favorite song, and I'll play it for you on the piano.
Rhonda has joined us. She's said she's late, but she's here.
Hello,
Finally.
Rhonda. How are you?
And then we have, let me see. Lisa has joined us from Florida. And Petunia from St. Martin is also with us.
Oh, thank you guys for joining, and thank you for telling me where you're from. I love that.
Rhonda says she likes your new kitchen.
Oh, thank you.
And Jerry says that your new house looks very pretty.
Thank you so much. You know, the thing that I love most about this new kitchen is that there's lots of room here, as you can see, and we can have more kids. So as soon as COVID lifts a little bit more, we can get past that, I can have more kids on the program with me. In the other house, the kitchen was so small that just one was about all that we could manage,
Crystal's wanting to know, if you were to make this mix on a Friday, would it keep until Sabbath?
Absolutely. Yep, mix it up Friday. And that's what my mom did, by the way. If this was going to be Sabbath meal, she'd mix it up Friday, seal it up tight, and then do this on Sabbath right before serving. We get home from church, and she'd have those on because it doesn't take long to fry them. And let me get you want to see how I organized my cupboards? Look at this. So I have all my bowls on one side and all my plates on the other. And so let's see, get a plate here we can put them on. I'm a neat freak. I know I like everything organized. So let me put this over here. And this is getting ready to turn, but this isn't a thing you want to turn back and forth, back and forth. You turn it once and and so you got to be patient. You don't want to turn it before it's ready because it will fall apart.
This will make a good sandwich too, wouldn't it?
Oh, such a good sandwich. To me, I'd have a little ketchup on there, a little mustard maybe, or sometimes, most people probably would like some type of mayo, but I'm not a mayo lover, so never was. And I didn't ever really care for it, although I have cooked with it. I'm not a big lover of mayo, though. Let's see if this one's getting... I might have to turn the fire up just a little bit more. But you want it to see how it's sizzling? If it wasn't sizzling, then you don't want to get it so hot that it will cook too fast and then burn. But there's no egg in this. These are the vegan version, so you don't have to worry about, if you wanted to take a pinch and a taste, no raw egg in it. But if you want to use a raw egg, just don't use the cornstarch. Put the egg in, and that will be.
Could you make meatballs out of this?
Do you know what? They don't make good meatballs because this is a one that will fall apart easily. So you don't want, especially the vegan version. If you were doing the egg version, you would probably put 2 eggs if you're going to do meatballs. And yes, you could do that thin. But I really like and prefer the patties over a ball because the ball because these are rice and it can tend to fall apart. So you have to really be careful when you turn them even. So like I probably turned this one just a little too soon. So I'm telling you to be patient, and I wasn't patient. So while we're waiting for these to fry, though, I do want to tell you about our brand new program, Books for Free. Yep, you heard me, Books for Free. And if you go to our website, kidsclubforjesus.org, you click on Books for Free, and what we have is all kinds of books that we've asked people to donate. So if you're watching and you have children's books, any religious children's books for ages 15 and under, go ahead and send them to me. What we do is we'll clean them up, we take photographs, we put them on the website, and you can go shopping, and the kids can go shopping and choose which books you want. And you can click and you can put, I think, 5 books, up to 5 books every 30 days. We have to put a limit to make it fair for everybody. So you can get 5 books every 30 days, and click on that, and the only thing you have to pay for is the shipping. So you're getting those books for free. Do you think that's a good idea? Tell me what you think. And because we want to encourage boys and girls to read, but what you read is far more important than just reading. So you want to make sure you're reading good things. And so, oh, that's good. Woo! I'm trying to be patient. But we have, and I really encourage you to check out our website because we are loading new programs every single week, brand new programs for you to watch. We also have quite a few different kinds of programs for you to watch, and we are adding new books as the books come in, we load them up and get them on there. So you check our site often. We're getting quite a few brand new books. I'm really surprised, aren't you, Melissa? Really good quality books that we're getting in. I think you're going to be quite impressed to see what people are sending. And I want to thank those of you that are sending. Thank you so much for doing that. If you're watching and you go, well, you know what, I've got some children's books. If they're just sitting on your shelf, let's not let them sit there till Jesus comes. Let's let kids that are growing up now that need to have that spiritual food read them. So go ahead and send us. Melissa, can you put the link on there to make it really easy for people?
It is there already.
The link, you already put the link there?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. See, she's on top of it. She is on top of it.
The link to vote for next week's recipe is already there as well. So,
okay.
If you want to tell us what is your favorite bread recipe, please go vote.
Yep. So next week is breads, and Melissa said she put the list on there. Melissa's the one that comes up with all the themes for each one and chooses the recipes. I have nothing to do with it, except I show up and show you how to do it, because they're all my recipes I've created. So I got to be able to do that, right? So
if anybody has any suggestions, I'd be happy to take those as well.
Absolutely. If you're saying, hey, wait a minute, I'd like to have this, or
something that we haven't featured yet that maybe I'm not thinking about.
Yeah.
Trying to cover all our bases with, different ingredients or different themes, but I definitely would take any kind of suggestions.
Oh, this looks so good.
It's a nice sizzle you got going on there.
If I tip it, can you see it?
Oh, I can see it. Just
can you look and see?
You got a little bit of a delay from here to here, so you're still flipping, actually.
All right.
But I think it looks okay, yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks good. I just got to be patient. Now, once you flip it, you got to be patient too, because otherwise they will fall apart.
So and Melissa's asking if this would be good for taco meat.
Not the rice patty recipe, but the burger, yes. If I can't have Eve's burger, I'm going to make my own like this every time because it doesn't have a strong flavor. So many of the burgers that if you open up and it's a can of burger, I just don't care. I'm not saying anything bad about them because I know a lot of people like them. It's just not my favorite. And so I just can't do that. And a lot of the burgers have a real strong flavor to them. I want it to take on the flavor I give it. I want that burger not to dominate my recipe. So for me, I like it to be more of a blander burger and just a good texture. And then I can season it up, and I'm not fighting that other flavor. Does that make sense? So let's see how I'm doing here. This is where you gotta be patient a little bit more. Because if I'm not patient, then they fall apart. And I've had that happen, where it's just like, oh no. So and I didn't use very. You can see I didn't really use. You don't look down here and see a bunch of oil in my pan. I just barely put a little bit in, so it's not a lot. If I was going to fry this with a lot more oil, they'd have already been done. But then we'd have all that oil. So I really try to cook it as healthy as I can and still enjoy a little bit of the fried. So that's why I'm doing that. I also wanted to share with you for our Kids Club for Jesus, we are getting ready to launch our Kids Time Praise singles and Kids Praise singles. And so you are going to want to check here often on our website because, as I said, we're adding new programs all the time. And you are going to love listening to all the kids that have just really sang their heart out, played their heart out, beautiful, talented, musically talented kids shining for Jesus. And so I encourage you to check out the website often. And you can watch whatever you want to watch when you want to watch it because it's all on demand. So that's the beauty of that. Okay, let's see here.
If you found an actual veggie burger that you liked, you could also take that and crumble it up in a recipe too. If you didn't like just the basic crumbles.
Exactly. If you have again, it's going to be seasoned. So
right.
So if you love it and it's a seasoning you love, it's not a problem, right? So okay. So look at this. I'm just going to put a couple of these on the plate here. And I know as soon as this program's over with, I know Melissa's going to take one of these.
I'm not going to take it very far.
Those I have to cook just a touch more, but I want to just hold this up to the camera, Melissa, so you can see.
Looks delicious.
Do you see that?
Absolutely.
And you can just see that steam rising from it. Can you see that?
You sure can.
Ooh, that's delicious. And that's as easy as that is. Can you believe that? Supper's ready, folks. All I got to do is make a salad. I maybe put some vegetables and some. Right now, there's so many fresh vegetables here in the States anyway because it's summertime and the gardens are just overflowing. Have some nice fresh tomatoes and cucumbers and some broccoli, green beans.
You know what else would be good with that?
What is that?
Blueberry pie.
Blueberry pie. And a special thank you, Rhonda, your daughter CQ is the sweetest ever. She stopped. She was doing a little antiquing today, and she stopped and brought Melissa and I some special pies from a bakery she always goes to every year. And she brought a blueberry pie for Melissa and a pecan pie for me. Absolutely delicious. So, you did something right, Rhonda. You raised her right. So do we have any other questions before we wrap it up? Is there any other questions that you have? Let's see here.
Oh, Claire and Aiden have joined us. Kim, Claire,
yes.
Claire was on, yeah.
Hey, hi guys, how are you? I'm so glad you joined us. And then we have Gerald joined us. And let's see here, we have Carolyn joined us. And let's see. Oh, and we have, Oh, everyone said that looked good. So somebody liked pecan pie too. Well, I'm so glad. If you want to see the program again, just go to YouTube to my Brenda Walsh Ministries. Please take the moment just to subscribe. It's absolutely free, won't cost you anything. And you can do that. And you can also watch on our Facebook page, Kids Club for Jesus. Have any questions or whatever, our administrator and social media director, Ash, is from South Africa. And she is on it. Let me tell you what, she is on it. So if you have a question or whatever, she will answer right away. If she doesn't know it, she's a beeline to me to get the answer. So don't hesitate to let us know any questions that you might have. And also, I wanted let me just put this on the pages because I don't want to burn this for you. I wanted to just ask each one of you, our Kids Club for Jesus is a self-supporting ministry. So that means we have 5 employees full-time, and we are totally dependent on donations from people like you that really have a burden for children's ministries so that we can continue to do what we're doing for children. So if you would help us spread the word, and I appreciate your prayers and your financial support. You can even hit donate right here on Facebook. You can go to our website and donate. And also on our website, it tells you if you even wanted to mail in a check. Some people like to write a check versus a credit card online. But whatever you could do to support us through prayers and finances, I would really be deeply grateful. We need to do more for our children. We need to do more to spiritually feed our children. And it's your prayers and financial support that make that possible. So thank you so very much. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I love each and every one of you. Join me next week. I don't know what we're going to fix yet, but it's going to be some kind of bread. And I hope to see you on Sabbath at 5:30 on my Brenda Walsh Ministries page, live on Facebook, coming to you from my new home. Next week it'll be the first time praise and worship in my new home. And you can submit your song requests, and I'll play it on the piano for you. And we're just going to have a wonderful time for a whole hour praising Jesus through song. Isn't that awesome? So tell your friends, start a watch party, okay? And spread the word. And it's people like you that help spread the word that we can just keep spreading those blessings and just spreading God's love. So thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Remember, it's your time to share Jesus. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless you.